Welcome back. Now we're going to be taking a look at the economy. Things seem to be very, very tough for us right now, and nobody's happy, with the situation in which we find ourselves now, especially when we consider that states like Singapore and Malaysia, who share a common history with us that came out of, being colonies, have gone way, way ahead of us. And if you look at our endowments very closely, you will tend to say that Nigeria is even better endowed than these countries we're making these comparisons with. So what happened to us along the way? Why do we find ourselves where we are at the moment? How come a country that is import dependent is having to pay so much of its currency to acquire the currency that is used for international trade? Well, we have with us in the studio Mr. Pascal Odibo, who is an economist. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm a business consultant, not an economist, and a policy
business consultant. Okay. And joining us from our studio in Abuja is, well, an economist. I hope I'm right this time, Mr. Odelim Enwegara. Good morning. Did I describe you correctly as an economist?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Odibo.
Yes, please.
Now, Nigeria is import dependent, so we need plenty of dollars. About this time last year, we were not paying more than 160 for the dollar. Right now, we're paying as much as 320. In fact, a few weeks ago, we were paying 405 naira for $1, and yet we are told that our currency has not been devalued. Can you please do the math for us and add those up and tell us the answer?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. One of the things we do as consultants is to look at cause rather than effects. Okay, when you look at effects, it's already a done deal, and maybe you're trying to deal with, in case this happens again, this is what I'm going to deal with it. However, if you deal with the cause, you begin to determine what the effect will be. Policy drives everything that a government does, whether it is, just as you said, whether you're importing or you're going to be exporting, or whether you're going to be, setting an agenda in a manner that the economy will move, is a function of government policy. And the governments you mentioned, Singapore, Malaysia, and those are Southeast Asian tigers, where their birth was as a result of strategic policy and institution by the governments, as a result of short, medium, and long-term, expectation and planning. So if you continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, some interpretations, and some people have called it another genre of madness. So my take here is that what we are experiencing today is as a result of what I would call analysis paralysis. You keep wanting to do, you keep wanting planning and over planning, and the things you are afraid of will meet you one morning. That's what happens.
Mr. Odibo, when you say analysis paralysis, is it a question, is it that we're not looking at the things as we're not looking at the picture holistically, we're taking it in part, or we're not looking at anything?
I'm tempted to say both. One is that from what you're seeing around, it's as if people just come up and make pronouncements. And then when the effects appear, they begin to now change words to explain their actions. The other one is that people just do things without thinking about the repercussions. What I mean by analysis paralysis is this: you may know where exactly where. Nigeria has been trying to diversify our economy for so many years.
Talk.
Every year. And that's why I'm not interested in any government telling me. I hate it when government will tell me we will have to diversify economy. It's your job.
We know.
Go and diversify the economy. And by the way, what you need is not really a diversification of the economy in the sense that people are saying it. Diversify the products, that the primordial products you have, diversify the crude to petroleum, diversify tomatoes to tomato puree, diversify cassava to cassava, and something that will add value, that you become an exporter. And that is the fulcrum upon which modern societies have gained competitive advantage. Whenever you sell anything at its primordial level, whether it is yam, crude, or anything, you are leaving money on the table. So let me put it this way. There is need for us as a people and as a country to look at, we need to bring back those long-term planning, the 5-year, 10-year plans, and stick to them so that governments that come in will be gauged based on their ability to fulfill their portion of those plans over the years. You can't afford to let governments come in and take 1 year to plan. And remember, time wasted can't be regained.
We'll go to our Abuja studios. When you say you can't afford to let a government come in and take 1 year to plan, are you suggesting something like a training institute for those that are coming to governance so they learn or they plan what they want to do, or they actually have a picture of what they want to achieve based on the picture that is available?
No.
Or is it?
No. Let me tell you what I mean before you go to your Abuja studios. Government is about the people and not about the governing. It's not about the government. That is why I'm concerned about what is really going on. People are getting agitated. You need to put both and it's a bipartisan, it's a cross-party thing.
Non-partisan.
Yes, non-partisan thing. Where you decide that in the next 10, 20, 30 years, this is the amount of governance and government and growth that this nation wants. So whether you're APC, PDP, or PCP, or whatever name you call yourself, you stick to that plan. Of course, allowing for amendments due to exigencies of the time and the moment.
Party ideologies.
Yes, but the big blocks don't have to be moved. So that you don't, supposing you elect somebody that doesn't just want to think.
And we haven't had a
development
plan for many years.
Yeah, so that allows the country to be independent of the quality of people that come in. My concern is that we are leaving our country to the people that come in.
Okay, Mr. Debo, Mr. Yagba, thank you for joining us. The situation in the economy, what Mr. Debo has put forward is a situation where we have a government coming in, as they'll say, that will hit the ground running. In other words, there is something already in place. There's a plan in place. The situation where they come in and the government is still planning to is what has brought us to where we are in terms of the economy. Do you agree with that?
To some extent, yes. But to some other extent, no. Let me tell you the problem the economy has had. You know, we have mismanaged this economy from the inception to last year. The policies that are supposed to ensure inward-looking economy were not there. Even when they were there, they were never enforced. Now, our financial system, since democracy in 1999, has not been put on board or brought on board to actually help the real sector. So when you add all these things up, you discover that the economy should not actually be growing in a way of having multiplier and trickle-down effects. I think what we need to do now, and I think this government is doing it, is to redesign the economy. First and foremost, we look at how do we go inward looking. How do we address the issue of financing businesses? And how do we address the infrastructure deficit? When this government carefully addresses these challenges, I will assure you the economy will grow. When you talk about all these countries, what did they do? They didn't do any magic. What they did was what other countries have done since 1489, Britain started. So if you look inward, you block importation, you allow people that are in your economy to start competing among themselves, and then you add value to the economy, you create jobs, and then you compete afterwards. So it's a simple economics.
If I may come in here,
let's not over dramatize this.
What you're suggesting is, you said they're redesigning the economy. Please explain the difference between redesigning the economy and the rhetorics we've heard over the years about diversifying the economy. What's new? What's different?
Okay. What this government is doing now are some things I will explain. First, they want to make it difficult for importers to import. The world to see where it can find cheap money and good investors to invest in the infrastructure deficit. We don't have the money, so do you want the government to print dollars we are talking about? So also we don't have the manpower to fix all these problems. So government is talking to Chinese government, is talking to some Asian governments and things like that to see where we can partner with these countries in order to fix this infrastructure deficit. So you can understand that the